Hi, YouTube. It's Catherine Michelle.
Hi, Sophia.
And tonight we have decided to bring to you a slide presentation on the ballistics. I know we've promised to do the video on the blood. We're still working on that and we will get it to you. But right now we're starting with ballistics and then we will build from there. It came across this, actually Sophia had mentioned it a while ago, but it just kind of skimmed over my head because so many things were on the plate. And then recently I was doing research on the bullets and the number of bullets in the magazine when I came across a specific piece of information that actually Sophia had found quite a while ago. Sophia, why don't you tell them a little bit about when you discovered this?
The missing bullet, or
yes.
Somewhere in like the summer of 2017, when I really started researching this case and reading the documents. And at that time, there was another member named Kat, and she and I worked on this graph that showed like where the bullets were, what the items number were, and which bullet was connected to which victim, just to kind of make it easier for members to understand what was found at the crime scene and where it was found. And we were trying to add up the bullets and how much was in the magazine, or is it called magazine, or
yes.
And usually I believe that there's 12, and then I think there's only 10 that were counted. And we think that David had 11 in his magazine, because his other magazine also had that amount. And so where is that 11th bullet? And we're gonna try to go over that tonight and explain each of the bullets that were found and bullet fragments that were found at the crime scene.
Yep. And you know, it's really important because Sophia's right. Not only did David, he had a 12-round magazine, but he always put in 11, and that was verified by Mason Hendricks. I do have a copy where he stated that he knew David to have only put 11 rounds in his magazines. I did not include that in here today because there's just so much information that we're just going to try to cover. However, like Sophia did state, the other magazine, the spare magazine that was in the safe in the bedroom, also only had 11 rounds, which were all accounted for. But the magazine and the gun at the crime scene, there are only 10 that are accounted for. So, okay, we're going to start the slide presentation and we're going to go over all of this information now. Okay, and I'm going to kind of shrink us down here.
Okay.
Okay, so for the ballistics, there is so much to cover in the David Crowley case. One often finds themselves scratching their head saying, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And we figured the best way to figure this out is to start with the ballistics. In every case where there's a murder using a handgun, the presence of spent bullets and casings is something to find. This is true in the Crowley case as well. When the AVPD and the BCA left the Crowley home on January 18, 2015, they left with 4 spent bullets, 3 of those containing obvious blood and hair, 1 spent round found in a wall, 1 fragment, and 1 unspent round. We can only assess from this, not access. Oh my goodness, you guys, you see typos. Here we go. That's supposed to be assess from this information and the very quick determination of events from the AVPD. The police felt they had all the evidence needed to bring the case to a close. They had 3 bodies and 4 spent bullets. It made sense after all. Kamel's body showed the presence of 2 exit wounds. David's body showed the presence of 1 exit wound, and Ranya's head showed the presence of 1 exit wound, 4 in total. Unfortunately for them, they were wrong. So let's start by looking at and comparing a 40 cal bullet and the bullets found at the scene. Now, this is the actual box of ammo that was taken from the crime scene. And the weight of these bullets weigh 180 grams. And this is what a 40 cal Winchester bullet looks like from the outside. And I took this from the website Outdoor Limited. And I checked on their website and they said that you could use their photos that they had as long as you gave them credit. And here's the credit with the website. So if you guys want to go and find it, you can find it at Outdoor Limited. And you see that they're hollow points. Now here's item 31, the bullet fragment. And this is just a piece of the bullet. Sophia, do you have anything you want to add?
Just want to point out how clean it looks.
Yeah,
compared
exactly.
to the others.
Right. So when I look at this, it tells me that this didn't go through any body. It just fragmented off of another round. And so the weight of this fragment was 19.14 grams. So it was, of course, since it's a fragment, it's of an entire bullet, it's going to be a negative 160.88 grams of the total 180. Now here's item number 42. This is the first one that they've associated with Camel. Now the weight of this bullet is 167.98 grams. So it is missing 12.02 grams. Sophia, do you have anything to say?
I'd like to point out that this spent round is, well, it's not as shiny. It's got blood, it's got tissue and hair on it. So it definitely went through a person.
Yep, big difference from that fragment. And here's number 43. This one hardly lost any weight at all. This one's weight was 179.56 grams. So it was only missing a negative 0.44 grams. So basically it was in full. Sophia?
That's got a lot of hair on it.
It does. Look, it's all completely wound inside, all wrapped up in that bullet. So that one's clearly, you can tell that that one clearly more than likely went through her head.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's item number 44. This one weighed 130.24 grams, so it's missing 49.76 grams. And you can tell that it's also dark in color. It matches number 42 and 43. So like Sophia was pointing out, you know, with the color differences, this one that's probably discolored due to blood and tissue and going through a body. Do you have anything you want to add?
No.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay, and this is item number 45. Now this was found in the basement wall. I believe it was the southwest wall in the basement. And this one weight was 173.90 grams. So it was missing 6.1 grams of weight. But you can tell, look at the difference, how shiny this is, as Sophia was pointing out before. And here's item number 53. And this to me, I don't know if you feel the same way, but this looks to me like it's missing a petal here, but the weight doesn't add up. So it couldn't be, I tried to get it to match up with number 31, but I couldn't get it.
Well, they did remove part of a bullet fragment from Rania during the autopsy.
Okay.
So
okay.
It could be that.
Okay. So, and that's interesting. Thank you for pointing that out, because maybe this one did go through her, but I was uncertain because of also how shiny it is. But it is, this number 53 is the one that has Rania's blood or DNA on it.
Yeah. And
here's item number 57. This is the best photo that they gave us. It's sitting in the attic inside the insulation. But here is the interesting thing to note. It didn't lose any weight. the total weight on this one was 180.18 grams of the 180 grams. So it was just over by 0.18 grams. Now in here, I'm gonna open up the ballistics information sheet that I've done a spreadsheet on. And here we have every single bullet that was found at the crime scene. Number 7 was the unspent, 31 is the fragment, 42, 43, 44, 42, 43, and 44 are associated with Kamel. 45 has no DNA profile. That was the one in the wall. 53 was the one that has Ranya's, and 57, no blood, no hair, only white material was detected. And this information was pulled off of the ballistics section of the report. And they stated, let's see. Okay, item number, okay, and no DNA was collected on number 7. They didn't do anything to it. They didn't process it at all. On the bullet fragment, it says apparent hair-like substance, but that could have been because when they picked it up off the floor, there was hair on top of it. Doesn't necessarily mean that there was any hair in it, but there was hair-like substance that was in the envelope that went along with the fragment. Number 42 had blood-like and hair-like substance. 43, apparent blood-like substance. 44, blood-like substance. Number 45, which was in the wall, only white substance. Now here is where it gets interesting. Number 53, where it says, now in the report from the on the ballistics sheet in the big report, it states white material was located in one small area of blood that they swabbed, and then that blood then did come back as Ranya's, but they mainly note white material was found, not blood. And on the number 57 that's associated with David, only white material was found, no blood detected at all. No blood, no hair, nothing. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, it is interesting though. Let's move to the next slide.
Yeah, and I found it, and I wrote down the weights here and the differences, you know, the fragment, and then of course, if that had been a bullet in and of itself, which we know it was not, it was just a fragment, a piece of one of these. So which one could it have really probably belonged to? Would probably maybe be 44, I don't know, but it's almost 20 grams, and 44 really is the only one that I don't know, that I guess it could fit with the weight.
Yeah. When a bullet is fired, a hollow point, it only mushrooms and the petals come out when it goes through something.
Yeah, it has to hit something in order for it to mushroom. Yeah.
So that petal wouldn't have fallen off before it had gone through something. Wow.
You know, that's a good question. Maybe it could have. I don't know. That is not something I didn't think to ask somebody, but that is a good point. But
it only just came to me, so.
Yeah. Well, it's a really good question, but we do know 31 is only a fragment. It could have belonged to number 44, but it is definitely not a bullet. Or is it part of the bullet that is missing?
That's a good question too.
Yeah, we don't know. Okay, and now on this one, we're going to compare side by side, 42 and 45. You see with number 42, what it looks like after it actually went through a human body, and compared with number 45 that just went in through the floor and then into a wall. And number 42 with number 53. You know, this one is discolored, it has tissue and hair. And 53, yeah, it looks like it might have a little bit of blood on it, but You know, it's
Yeah.
very clean.
That's actually a pretty good photo of it, because it's either shadow or it does have some blood on it.
Yeah,
Huh.
and we'll cover that when we get to number 53.
Okay.
And here's number 42 compared to 57. Again, big difference between the bullets that entered a body and those that were shot somewhere else. Here's number 43.
Oh.
Compare 43 with number 45.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I mean, that's obviously it's gone through somebody,
Yeah,
obviously. But like you said, also there was a lot of hair at that scene, so that could have been added on.
yeah, with
by
the
the dog.
fragment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went back and I looked at the photos where the fragment was located, and there was hair, loose hair on top of where it was lying. So if the dog had been running around, or if the heater's kicking on and it blows around loose hair, that could have easily been why there was hair on top of it. And then as they're collecting it, they just picked it up and put it in the bag. So then hair then is transferred with it. And then here's 53 compared to 57. I mean, it's just obvious.
It really is.
And here's number 44.
Yeah.
And can you see my pointer at all, or is that just on my screen?
I can't see it. No.
Okay. Okay. So if people look at that item 44, like toward the bottom of the spent bullet, it looks like that you can see some maybe tissue or blood or something on that one. And then just the discoloration itself, and compare that with number 45 next to it. Again, we're just showing you the comparison to show you the difference between bullets that we know went through a body versus those that they can't prove actually did. And 44 with 53 and 44 with 57.
See, and if you go back to 53, that looks pretty clean still.
Okay, let me go back to okay. You mean this one right here?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We're going to cover that a little bit more here in a minute, because that was one of the things that caught my attention as well, because 42, 43, and 44 are all dark. Like are they oxidized? Was that blood that was on it that hit the air? And then these are all shiny, like they never even went through a body.
And we know that this was on the carpet because it rolled out of the carpet when the carpet was being removed by the cleaners.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, items 42, 43, and 44 all show evidence of having gone through a body. You can see the color difference, and there's hair embedded within the mushroomed end of the bullet. We do not see any of that with items 45, 53, and 57. All three, items 45, 53, and 57, present with a copper shine, yet items 42, 43, and 44 are all dark in color. Does this matter? Yes, it does. Why? Well, we're going to go through that. If the three bullets that are known to have gone through a human body have the look of oxidation, which is what we were just talking about, and the three bullets that are known to have not gone through a human body do not have the same appearance, sorry, another typo, what does that tell us about the DNA found on items 53 and 57? There was no blood, there was blood, but no hair detected on item 53. Yet no blood or hair was detected on item 57. Do you have that pulled up on your side? I forgot to add that. I was going to actually put a link to that in here, because there seems to be yet some misunderstanding, but the blood analysis clearly states that no blood was found on item 57, but they did a swab of it anyway.
I only have it on my phone. I don't have it on the iPad.
Okay. we'll cover that then when we do the blood. We'll make sure
Okay.
to, we'll have to add that in because we're going to go through the
It
blood
is
analysis anyway.
Page 26 of the 40-page lab analysis for
Okay.
anybody who wants to read it, though. It's at the, like in the, right after it says results of laboratory examination.
And
It's
where-
right there.
What was that again? What page number?
26 of the 40-page lab analysis.
Okay, and you guys can all find that at Greg's website, the Gray Stage website. So, and also on the Justice for David Crowley and Family Facebook page, you can go to the file section and look up this report and find it there. It is there, and it states as plain as day, no blood or hair.
But they did find DNA.
But
though.
they swabbed it anyway. There was nothing they could detect, and they tested it. They swabbed it and tested it for blood. It came back negative, a negative pheno test. So then they went ahead and swabbed it and sent it off to the lab. And then that's when they found a DNA match.
Mhm.
But again, no blood. Okay, so here we have it. Item 53 and item 57 have DNA associated with Rania and David, respectively. However, both bullets lack the evidence needed to prove these were the bullets that killed them. Only a little visible blood on item 53, which results showed the presence of Rania's DNA. Keep in mind, though, the bullet was only found after it rolled out from the rug and onto the floor. Now, did the bullet pick up Rania's DNA in the process of rolling, or did the bullet actually come into contact with her body? The evidence is leaning toward the bullet picked up Rania's DNA when it rolled around on the rug. And this is what you were talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so and that's the thing we have to remember. It's a copper bullet. It doesn't have any oxidation on it. And not that we can see in the photos that they give us. You guys saw it yourself. It was bright, shiny copper. But we do know that when the cleaning crew was rolling up the rug, this item 53 rolled out. This was the next day, rolled out and onto the floor. So did it pick up her DNA did it roll across that section of the rug that had Rania's DNA and blood on it, a small section of blood? Is that where this came from? Or, or was it actually the one that went through her body? It doesn't look like the others that we know went through Kamel. You clearly see the oxidation, but we don't see that on item 53. And this is absolutely huge. Why? Because now not only is the bullet that killed David missing, but the bullet that killed Rania is missing too. 3 bullets missing from the scene. 3, you say? You only mentioned 2. Where is the third? Glad you asked that question. While doing research on the bullets and creating a spreadsheet from the information from the reports, we came across an interesting piece of information. There is an entire bullet missing from the scene. We know, as evidenced by the other magazine found in the gun safe, and from what others who have been around David when he would shoot his guns stated, David loaded his magazines with 11 rounds. Let's look at the spreadsheet and see the bullet count for ourselves. And let me see if I still have that pulled up here. Again, we know that's just a fragment. So how many bullets do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 7. So we have 7 out of 11 so far. And you minus 7 from 11, we have 3 missing fragments. I don't know if I shared that with you guys or not. I don't know what's showing up on the screen.
I see the let's break it down, break this down.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's there if you.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me see. I'm trying to, I gotta love the fact that it's like, hello. What can I do? Okay. maybe, well, we saw it earlier and it was on there for a while. So if you guys want to go back to, oh wait, I know where. Oh my God, see, I'm just so tired. I don't even know why I'm still doing this. Okay, can you see it now? Is it there now?
Yes.
Okay, from the current slide, and let's pull this up again. Here we go. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Okay, so 7 was just an unspent round, 31 is just a fragment, and then we only have 7 bullets collected. 1, 2, 3, 42, 43, 44, 45, 53, and 57. 7 bullets out of an, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 plus 1, 7. So we have 7 bullets out of an 11 count magazine. We're missing 3. And we'll keep going to get caught up here. Oh, it looks like I skipped some here. What happened to that one? Oh, did I actually delete? I think I deleted a slide. How did I do that? So the let's break it down slide is gone. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it now. Oh, jeez. Okay.
That's a good slide too, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh no. See, I told you it's a day. It's been a day. Okay, so what does all this mean and why does it matter? If item 31 is a broken off piece of item 45, that means an unspent bullet is missing. We know David loaded his magazine with 11 rounds, as evidenced by the extra mag in the gun safe, and Mason Hendricks stated the same in a comment he made once. So let's break this down. A, 6 spent bullets and 6 casings, 3 tied to Kamel, 1 tied to Rania, 1 that went through the floor and into the basement wall, and 1 in the ceiling. 1 unspent round found on the floor. Now we have 2 in the magazine. The BCA states less than 4, yet the ballistics report shows that only 2 in the magazine, which I thought was pretty sneaky, and 1 in the chamber. So how many is that in total? We have 6 at the scene. So it's 6 plus the unspent round is 7, 2 that were in the magazine and 1 in the chamber of the gun. That's 10 bullets. Where's bullet number 11? A bullet in the casing is missing from the scene. Let's go over this one more time. The breakdown of the bullets are 6 spent bullets, 3 tied to Kamel, 1 to Rania, 1 that went through the floor, and 1 in the ceiling. So we have 6 plus 1, which was the unspent. We have 7. 2 in the magazine, that's 9. 1 in the chamber, that is 10. We are missing an entire bullet from the scene. Where's number 11? A bullet in the casing are missing. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think that says everything right there.
Yeah, and when I saw this, it floored me because I'm like, this is information the police knew, that
Yes.
BCA knew, and they know that an entire bullet is gone. They have a scene where there is blood of only 1 victim found. You have 2 other victims and their blood is not in that house. And a bullet missing, and they didn't stop to think, what could that mean? It's mind-boggling. So the BCA evidence in the property report and the supplemental report show the magazine in the gun safe in the master bedroom contained 11 rounds. And we'll show you that proof in these reports right here. This is from the supplemental report right here. This was the magazine from safe loaded with 11 rounds of ammunition. This here is part of the I believe the ballistics report, the inventory report. And we'll make this bigger so you guys can see. Gun clip in the safe, loaded with 11 rounds. And here's the firearm worksheet. And it said that they had a cardboard box containing a firearm, an open manila envelope containing 1 magazine, 2 red evidence tape sealed manila envelopes labeled 1B1 and 1B2 containing 1 cartridge each, and 1 clear tape sealed manila envelope labeled 1C containing 1 cartridge. 1B1 and 1B2 came from inside of the magazine of the gun, and 1C was what was the round in the chamber of the gun. So there were just a total of 3 left. 3 in the gun, 7 found at the house, 1 is missing.
And where is that bullet?
Yep,
And where's the casing too?
exactly. So I'm going to stop sharing here for a minute so we can go back to us. So yes, exactly. We have an entire bullet. Was it another round that was ejected? Was it one that was shot somewhere else? But like Sophia said, the bullet and the casing are not there. So if they're not there, is there another crime scene?
I don't know.
Yeah, it leaves us wondering, and you're like going, huh, okay, what other explanation is there? We know the dog didn't eat the casing and the dog didn't eat the bullet.
Yeah. So it gives a lot of people something to think about, because he's known for fitting the 11 cartridges in the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's to keep the spring from wearing out so
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
Yeah.
The pressure or some, I don't know. It was
yeah. Well, and I know I learned that from my son. And so, but because when I'm loading my magazine in my gun, I mean, if you're trying to put all of them in, it gets hard, man. It's like a pain. And if you're going to be in a hurry, you don't have time to really jam that sucker in there. Plus it really does. It puts a lot of stress on that spring inside the magazine. But if you just load 1 less than what the capacity is, it's so much faster. And we know that's what he does because Mason stated that he confirmed that. His extra magazine shows that. And now we have a gun at the scene and bodies, but there's an entire bullet missing. We have 3 victims, but only 1 victim's blood in that house. We have Rania, the item number 53, that's tied to Rania, but yet it doesn't look like it went through her body. It doesn't look like the others. And they found it after it rolled out from underneath the rug. So as they're rolling up a rug, it's tumbling and it's coming into contact with stuff on the rug. Obviously, I mean, whether or not that's where it came from on the bullet, it still is going to be coming into contact with body fluids, tissues. So go ahead.
No, continue, please.
Yeah. So I mean, if we break this down, we know that Kamel was shot and killed there. We know she was killed in that house. Her blood is there. Her blood is everywhere. But we don't, now we no longer have the solid proof about where Rania was killed. Yeah. Her DNA, I mean, a good attorney would be able to throw that out in a court of law because of the simple fact that it was on a rug. They were in the process of rolling and it rolled out from a rug and landed on the floor. And then they found DNA on it, but there was none, as you could clearly see. There is no hair, there's no tissue, nothing is wrapped up inside number 53. It's completely different from the others. So a good attorney would have that tossed out. So that's what I'm saying. You could be missing 2 bullets, bullet number 11, and then the one that actually killed Rania. Where's that one? And we know, and then plus we know where's the one that killed David. 57 does not have his blood or hair on it, but yet it has his DNA. So somehow I guess we're supposed to infer that that was the bullet that killed David, but there is no proof of that whatsoever. It's impossible to state that, because we know it didn't go through David's body, by body position, by where it ended up, and the fact that it's in the ceiling. That is not the bullet that killed David. So in actuality, we have 3 bullets missing from the scene. Where are they?
And not only did they find Ronnie's DNA on that bullet, item 53, but they found 2 or more individuals. So
yes, you are right. You are right. Let me see if I can't pull that up and share that. Let me see if I can.
And it doesn't match David, and it doesn't match Kamal.
Right. Okay. So here, can you see it? Did it pop up?
Yes.
Okay. So let me, and that was item 53, right? Let me, okay, I'll highlight it this way. Yes. You're right. When indication of blood, yes, because one small area again, and I'm taking this from their reports, mainly white material. Now, the only other bullets that had white material were the ones that went into the ceiling and into the wall. So 53, that's interesting. It had white material, but one small area had blood. And that's what I'm saying. Did it pick it up when it was rolling? Very possible. So indicated, yes, blood was indicated, and it was Rania, but it indicated, like she stated, as 2 or more, and David and Kamel are excluded. This case is all over the place, all over the place.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, this item 53 is the smoking gun for this case.
Yeah, you think so? Please expand on that. Let people know what you're thinking.
I mean, whose DNA is on that bullet? We don't know, because nobody else was ever tested. And this is not the only time that they find extra DNA on items. I believe it was it 41? Major profile.
I know we'll cover that
No.
when we do the blood, because I did a whole huge spreadsheet on that as well.
But there's like 2 other items that had extra DNA too that was found on it. So
Yeah.
I mean, whose is it?
Exactly. And when we do the blood, I've been doing a lot of research and doing like these little mini online classes. They're free classes, but that deals with DNA and mixed bloods and results like that. I mean, it is so in depth. You think that it's would be basic. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of work that goes into finding DNA or blood, dealing with blood mixtures. But the fact that it states mixture of 2 or more means exactly that. There are 2 or more individuals involved in that blood mixture. And if you have David and Kamel excluded, that means that their alleles were not found, did not match the alleles that were in this DNA. They are not part of that. So we have 2 individuals, 2 or more, and Rania was the only one that could have been picked up. But again, was that because it rolled through the carpet? And if that's the case, we know that there's passive blood in the kitchen. Was there just happen to be passive blood on the rug as well? We don't know. This is all speculation at this point. But again, the main point of this is to show you guys that we have the bullet that killed David is missing. The bullet that killed Rania is obviously in question now. Is this really the one that killed her? Highly in question. It's very questionable. And a good attorney could toss it out and say, no, it's not. And we have an entire bullet missing from the scene. We have David and Rania's blood missing from the scene. So where were they when they were hurt? And where's that bullet?
And if this was a simple murder-suicide, why go through 10 bullets
Exactly.
for 3 people? It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Especially when they're hollow points too.
Right.
I mean,
I mean,
they're meant to do the job.
and you bring up an extremely valid point, because if David were the guilty party, he knows how to fire a weapon. He knows how to just do boom, boom, boom. He knows how to do that and could
Correct.
do it with ease. You'd have three, and it would be over, and you would have all 3 of their blood in the same area, you know, cut and dry. There it is.
Correct.
No question asked. You wouldn't have all of this writing on the wall. What does that serve David to do something like that? And there is none of this, oh, he snapped garbage that they keep trying to put out there. That just doesn't fit.
Yep. I mean, there's so much more we could add on to this, but then this presentation would be like 3 hours long, if not more.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay, so before we wrap it up then, is there anything you want to say and kind of wrap all of this together, to tie it all together?
I honestly can't think of anything extra. I mean, we've been covering it all.
Yeah.
How about you?
And for me, it's like, I know I've stated it, I don't know how many times, but I just want to reiterate it, nail this home. There is a bullet missing from the scene. David's blood is missing from the scene. Rania's blood is missing from the scene. The bullet that has Rania's blood on it has blood of another person, or possibly 2 other, or yeah, one for sure, possibly another or more.
Mhm.
It's not evident that it went through her body. So where's the bullet that killed Rania? Where were David and Rania killed? Clearly not in that living room. Where did it happen? I don't know. I'm not saying they were taken from the house. I don't know. Were they downstairs? Were they in a bathroom? I don't know. But all I know is that the evidence tells us and says all over the place, their blood is not there. We have a missing bullet, a questionable bullet for Rania now. So possibly hers is missing as well. We don't have the bullet that killed David. I think this is pretty important.
Yeah, I do too. I think this is very important to get out. And I hope that everybody will go back and look at the reports and see exactly what we have been talking about. If you have questions, feel free to ask us. We're both in the group. We're both here to help. We can point in the right direction. We can show you all the information that we pulled this from today. We're happy to answer questions for you and point you in the right direction. You can read through it yourself if you'd like. We got this from the Bca Lab Results, the evidence and property sheets, and the Bca data request, the huge Bca file that had a lot more information in regards to the cartridges and the magazine and how they were found, where they were found. So all that can be located on Greg's site, a gray stage. And let me see if I can get that website for you.
Okay, and we will put a link down below in the description box for Greg's website for you to go and find those.
Yes.
But just so you guys know, like Sophia stated, all of the information I got that states the condition of the bullets and what was found on them, I got from the 488-page Bca report, and it starts on page 165 for the ballistic section, and then it goes through, and they'll have pages that 2 columns where they can do 2 separate bullets at a time. And it lists the trace evidence found on those fragments. And you will see in those trace evidence that was written and documented by BCA for item number 53, it says white material. For items 42, 43, and 44, the bullets that we know that went through Kamal, it states hair and blood-like substance. That is not written on items 53, 57, or fragment number 31.
Correct. So
thank you guys for joining us. And I really hope that this is kind of like one of those what in the world moments for you, like it was for us. I mean, Sophia got an earful when I finally caught on to what she was saying. And I sent her a long text going, oh my God. And she's like, yeah, hello. But so thank you, Sophia, for joining me. And like I said, you guys stay tuned because we will be getting out the blood analysis one. And that one is taking us a whole lot longer just because of the amount of research that has to go into understanding the breakdown and the testing of what it means by 2 or more individuals. So
correct.
thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.